Our special transmission as Israel blames Hezbollah for the rocket attack on Golan Heights and vows retaliation. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Zahra Sayed. Today is the 298th day since the onset of Israel's war on Gaza. Palestinian Health Ministry reports in the past 24 hours, at least 39 Palestinians have been killed and 93 have been injured. Israel's recent evacuation orders for Bureij and Nuseirat refugee camps have driven tens of thousands of Palestinians to search for safe areas. The United Nations Refugee Agency says 86% of Gaza is under attacks. Safe areas are nearly non-existent. Heavy fighting continues in Khan Yunis, with Israeli forces clashing with Palestinian fighters. The Israeli Air Force says it has targeted around 35 locations, resulting in numerous casualties in Rafah and Khan Yunis. The municipality of Rafah says that the Israeli army has bombed a crucial drinking water reservoir in Tel al-Sultan. The municipality calls it a crime against humanity. The bombing exacerbates the severe water crisis in the area. A report by the Washington Post says former Palestinian prisoners have revealed systemic violence and deprivation in Israeli jails. Physicians for Human Rights Israel says since October 7th, at least 12 Palestinians have reportedly died from abuse. The death toll from Israel's war is staggering. Israel has so far killed at least 39,363 Palestinians. 90,923 civilians are injured. Palestinian Ministry of Education reports that about 10,000 students and 400 teachers have died due to the ongoing attacks. A report in British medical journal The Lancet estimates that Palestinian deaths in Gaza could be as high as 186,000. Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah have surged following a rocket attack on Majd al-Shams in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. On Saturday, a rocket struck a football field in the Syrian Druze village. The attack killed at least 12 children. Several others have been injured. Hezbollah denies responsibility for the attack. However, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Israeli officials hold the militant group accountable. Israel has responded by targeting southern Lebanon overnight. Further action is expected. Israeli Foreign Minister Israel Katz condemns the attack. Katz labels Hezbollah's actions as terrorism. Israel has killed 527 people in Lebanon since last October. And in related news, the Israeli Security Cabinet has authorized Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant to respond to the rocket attack on Golan Heights. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has declared a strong response against Hezbollah. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu cut short several hours of his visit to the United States. He returned to Israel to convene a meeting of the Security Cabinet. The local residents kicked out several Israeli politicians from the funeral, including far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. They blamed the Israeli government and its handling of the Gaza war for the incident. Around 20,000 Druze Arabs live in Golan Heights. The area is also home to 25,000 Israeli settlers. Israel seized the area from Syria in 1967 during the Six-Day War. It later annexed it in 1982. Golan Heights is considered occupied territory under international law and United Nations Security Council resolutions. Egypt has issued a stark warning against escalating tensions between Israel and Lebanon. It is urging for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The Egyptian Foreign Ministry says Lebanon and its institutions should be protected. The U.S. and Lebanon are also urging restraint to prevent further escalation. Lebanon has called for an international investigation into the attack to determine if Hezbollah is responsible. Iran has cautioned against further escalation to prevent wider conflict. The United Nations is calling for international intervention to de-escalate the situation. A senior official of Hamas has died in Israeli custody at Ramon prison in southern Israel. Palestinian Commission of Detainees Affairs says that the 63-year-old Mustafa Muhammad Abu Ara had a history of serious health issues. He was arrested on October 30th. Reports suggest he faced medical neglect and torture while in detention. The commission alleges that Abu Ara's health deteriorated significantly due to inadequate care. His death brings the number of Palestinian prisoners who have died in Israeli custody to over 55 since October 7th. 7 Palestinian detainees at Israel's Ofer military prison have attempted suicide. Palestinian officials attribute these desperate acts to harsh treatment by the jail staff, including beatings and severe neglect. The detainees reportedly face starvation and medical neglect. Recently, Israeli forces have arrested 6 more Palestinians, including 2 children. This raises the total number of detainees in the West Bank to nearly 9,845. In a joint letter to Israel, the prime ministers of Canada, New Zealand, and Australia have called for an urgent ceasefire in Gaza. They describe the situation as catastrophic. The letter urges the Israeli prime minister to accept a new ceasefire proposal supported by the U.S. president and endorsed by the Security Council. The letter criticizes the ongoing human suffering. It demands a substantive response to the UN's advisory opinion deeming Israeli settlements unlawful. The leaders also reaffirmed their support for a 2-state solution. However, they insist that Hamas should have no role in Gaza's future governance. Hamas is a designated terrorist entity in Canada. In response, Israel's ambassador to Canada has called for release of all hostages held in Gaza as the only path to peace. He has condemned recent criticisms as attempts to disrupt global order. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad. Assalamu alaikum.